The knowledge of his presence. It is within the human soul, the simplest unit of God, which we would make complex, that we will find him abiding. Sensing the presence of God within and without, we become quiet, throw off anxiety, and are conscious of a renewing power. The Spirit of God speaks through the soul forces. How may we know this? We must study and meditate until we realize what attitude we hold concerning his presence. People of old have said, "Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain unto it." We, too, may feel at times that it is physically impossible to attain to that knowledge. May we not take God at his word and accept his free gift of grace, love, and mercy? If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not. I am the Lord. I change not. We obscure the knowledge of his presence by considering it as a thing apart. Let us not quench the Spirit within. As his Spirit bears witness with our spirit, not only will we understand ourselves better, but there will come a fuller understanding of our neighbor, our friend, or our enemy. As we go fearlessly on into whatever work is before us, let us trust in his care, knowing that his presence will overshadow us. The light will shine ahead and show the way. He will keep our stumbling feet from faltering and will allow no harm to overtake us. May we live each moment aware of his presence and let our work testify for us. As self is less and less magnified and more hope and reliance is sought in his word, each of us will become more and more aware of his abiding presence. All who would know him must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. How often have we read, "The Lord is my shepherd," and doubted the truth of it as applying to us? By submitting our will to divine guidance, we come step by step into the realization that he will withhold no good thing from those who seek him, who seek to do his will. These are indications, then, that this entity in itself may, if it chooses, come to that awareness of its relationships to that universal consciousness, that Christ-likeness which is manifested by the relationships or dealings one with another. For as each soul, not the body but the soul, is the image of the Maker, so with the awareness of the soul consciousness, there may come the awakening to the realization of the soul's relationship with that universal consciousness, as is promised in him. Know, first, that each soul is a manifestation of an influence in the earth that we may call a son of God. Thus there are the needs that each soul recognize the relationship it bears with that force or power in the earth, and behave in such a manner as to be worthy of that grace given by the creative force. How may I acquire emotional and mental assurance of the continuity of life and the oneness of all? Just as has been indicated. Abide in me and I in you, that I may bring to your remembrance all things from the foundations of the world. Not of the earth alone. For he is the life, and as we meditate, as we open our hearts, our minds to those truths that are so much a part of that awareness, as he hath given, I will not leave thee comfortless, but will come and abide with thee, if ye will but seek and ask. There is no greater assurance, and it, that assurance, has kept, does keep the earth, the worlds, in motion today. As for the body's better welfare through the social, spiritual and mental, it would only be well for the body to keep well in mind that it must study to show itself approved unto its Maker, and not be ashamed of those ideals that give to the development of others, while that of self must be approved of its Maker. Those of others must be consideration as to whether approved to him or not, and that his Spirit beareth witness with thy spirit whether thou art chosen of him to carry unto others those unsearchable riches of his nature and being. Is there any further advice in regard to the work? Each individual may classify themselves toward the work and know in their individual hearts, soul and mind their status toward the work. And the condition as has been given should be the correct manner to select or go about such work. For the answer must ever come from within, for the answer ever comes as this. My spirit beareth witness with your spirit, whether ye be acceptable unto God or not. The force, the works, remain as God's work when carried in the correct channel, for it is the answer from that universal I am, innate within each and every entity that has not lost its way. Let not the cares of the world disturb thee, for those things that are of the earthy pass away, even as the mist before the noonday sun. He that hath found the Lord and taken him as his companion shall melt away the cares even as the sun. Keep in the way that thou knowest to go, for it is right in the eyes of the Lord. Comfort the weak. Cherish the downtrodden. Give praise for thy strength in the Lord. Through thee much good may come to many. The law of the Lord is perfect and converteth the soul of those that would listen. Not in some deed of valor lest some would honor themselves, but rather in the kind word here, a word fitly spoken there. For here a little, there a little and the growth is from within. And will shine out to those, if ye do take him as thy companion. The laws of God are unchangeable. Yet remembering, man is a portion of that whole. Man changes, God never. Only through supplication and the change of man within makes the change, see? The very fact of being aware of thyself is assurance of the fact that the Father God is mindful of thee, now, today. Seek, then, his way. For his way changeth not. Let thy heart not be sad. Lift up thine eyes unto the hills of the Lord. For from him cometh strength. Trust not in thyself, but in the good, the Lord, the love of the Lord that thou may show unto thy fellow man. What man or woman, or what organization, is best grounded in the true religion as taught by Christ, and can be advantageously contacted by me for greater spiritual growth and enlightenment? Consider this from my personal needs in relation to my spiritual growth. How has it just been given? Self. With whom has he promised to deal? Self. As to individuals, as ye give, so may ye receive. When ye may see in those things that are to thee hateful, in those people's lives that are to thee distasteful, something good, what maketh it? It is the life, the experience, the indwelling of the Christ consciousness within the earth. Then who is the bridegroom, and who is the bride? Thyself, thy Lord. Trust not any other than him. For as he gave, it was not that ye should come unto Peter nor to Paul, but unto me. If ye will abide in me, I will come and abide with thee. For selfishness is the real sin, and as we become less and less conscious of self and more aware of being at one-ment with him, greater may be the possibilities and blessings in the material earth, as well as in the beautiful heavenly rest. How can I desire to be well, to accomplish and to fight in spite of such inner and outward conditions, difficulties, family opposition, frustrations, etc.? Only by the sheer will is there the desire to make beautiful the spirit of truth and life that gives animation to any desire of the body, the mind or the eye. And these conditions may only be met by that which has so oft been given. Not in self, but in the inner self, the God that speaks within, and in giving that, in thought, in act, in desire, for the welfare of others, not of self. Become selfless. And there will grow that which makes the body, the mind strong and able to meet every obstacle in the physical conditions, in the social surroundings, in the family circles, with a smile. Knowing that if my life is one with him the rest matters not, and mean it. And do it. And be it. In the book Your Faith is Your Fortune, is Neville's commentary on the 23rd Psalm accurate? It is for Neville, but not for 2533, not for 2390. For, as the prayer, as the 23rd Psalm is, the Lord is my shepherd, not Neville's, not anyone else's, but my shepherd. That is, I am the Lord's, for I hear his voice, heed his call. As the entity should understand, there is an influence. Yet, as to an entity's application of self, it is as to what the entity, the will, the soul, does about what it knows or feels, that makes for weal or woe. Hence, when self is guided by an ideal that is set, as to its mental relationships, as to things, conditions and individuals, the results are the builded influences. Hence have their application in the experience of every entity in its journey through the material or earth experience. To be sure, whom the Lord loveth he chasteneth, he purgeth everyone that we may bear more fruit. For, indeed as he has given, it must needs be that offenses come. These have come in the experience of the entity in times past, and thus tend to make the entity close itself to the real enjoyment of a material nature. Fear for what others will say, and for what might be spoken. To have faith in God one must know of him and talk with him often. One must walk with him in the night, yea in the light, yea in all manner of places. Remember, his hand may guide thee. For he hath given, God hath not willed that any soul should perish, but hath with every temptation prepared a way, a manner of escape for those that will be his own. And as he has given, the will to be, the will to make for manifestations of his force and power and love and might, has been his gift. So man has the choice. As it is said, there is set before thee, before each soul today, good and evil, life and death. Choose thou. Hence from those experiences in the Venus forces, from those associations, to this entity, many abilities are brought in making known those truths by their daily application, as well as by counsel unto others. There would be given here this admonition to the entity. Let the words of thy mouth, let the activities of thy body, let the purposes of thy soul, be charged with the love of the Father as shown in the Son. That those who know thee, who speak with thee, know thou doth walk daily with thy Lord.